Today I show you how to disable the HDR video recording on your Android phone. When you record video or even for pictures, you might have HDR, but especially for video, the HDR setting will make the videos brighter and the colors, they will look more interesting, nicer. There's a wider color range, but I can't really tell much about the colors. The brightness is what makes the HDR video really amazing, especially on the right screen. But you can use the SDR, which is standard definition. It's not high definition for the dynamic range. The dynamic range means the difference between the brightest object and the lowest, the shadows in the picture. For example, you have a shadow, part of the picture or video is in the shadow, and then there's bright sunlight. You can use the picture profiles in most of the camera apps. They will have some kind of picture profiles that will increase the dynamic range of the camera, but HDR is really the most powerful option for dynamic range to have the high quality. You could actually, if you're recording the video to upload somewhere to YouTube, for example, you could use a log format, which is the completely washed out format. You cannot play that easily. It doesn't look good when you play it. You have to edit it. So this is the reason why you might want to disable HDR also, because the HDR video will not look good on some screens. In some situations the colors will look strange, so it might happen that the video looks really weird because of HDR, and you don't know why it's like that. That's because the HDR processing is very specific. Here in the Video Pro app for the Sony Xperia, I have the setting for SDR or HDR BT2020. HLG is the standard for HDR. There are other standards, but HLG, I prefer this one the most, and you can use BT7 or Rec 709 or BT709. This is the standard definition. It's the most common format. A video recorded in Rec 709 or BT709 will look good. It will look the same on multiple screens. This is the reason to disable HDR actually, that on some screens HDR will look different, and this also depends on the processing. And I prefer the HLG format because HLG is made to look good on SDR on the screens that are not HDR, and also on HDR screens, but it also depends. If you start processing the video, then it's gonna look different. Here you see with HLG, HDR, the brightness is a little bit different. You will not really notice, but you know all the videos we upload on this channel everything is done in HLG, so there is nothing BT709 or Rec 709, and this is the reason, because it looks better. I like how it looks like. But if you don't want HDR, you can't change that. And multiple cameras, they will have more simple options on different camera apps where the settings are more simple, not with so many things on the screen like here. Then you will only have an HDR or SDR option, and you don't get to choose the actual format. The files, they will not have anything special about them, but there is metadata into the files. There are things inside the files that will have the information that this video is HDR. It's basically it's the frame, the light, the brightness of each frame. Especially if you use HDR10+, the videos on this channel are recorded in HLG and exported as HLG HDR10+, extra metadata on top of it. If you're not sure if you want HLG, HDR or SDR, I suggest to use HDR and share it with someone. On some apps, when you share the video, it might look a bit different, but recently these things have been fixed. Try to use HDR if you can, but you can use SDR also. Thanks for watching.